Guys, it's Meridy here with Not Just for Boys Kit Club, and today I've got the Outdoor Adventures Page Kit that I'm going to show you how to put together. And first, let's start with what's inside your kit. First, you're going to get this Echo Park Little Lumberjack stamp set. It's super cute with all kinds of little sayings and images, and we do some fun stuff with this stamp set on this layout. So it's the first thing you're going to get, and then you're going to get 3 silver Not Just for Boys charms. And you're going to get 1 pack of Let's Lumberjack ephemera. It's the die cut pieces ephemera. There's 33 pieces in here, and those are really cute. And then you're going to get the following papers. This Echo Park Let's Go Camping. It's called Explore Banners. So the back is blue plaid and the front are these cute little banners. And then you're going to get an Echo Park Let's Go Camping Life's a Journey paper, and on the A side is constellations, and on the B side is little tents and trees. And then you're going to get a Cartabella Dinosaurs green and blue cardstock. Both colors matched really well, the green and the blue. The Designer Solids line. And you're going to get 2 sheets of smooth white cardstock. And then from Cartabella's Road Trip line, it's called National Parks, and it's grid on one side and all the names of the national parks on the other side. And finally, you're going to get 1 sheet of burlap paper. It's not really paper, it's more it's all stuck together so it stays in 1 sheet like paper, but it's more of an embellishment, like a fabric embellishment for your layout. Yeah, so this is what you're going to get in your kit. You're also going to have a sheet of instructions in your kit, and on the back of those instructions there are going to be cutting guidelines, how you want to cut all of these papers. So that's what we're going to go do right now. I'm going to go cut all of my papers down, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I have all of my papers cut, and the first thing we're going to do is start with our photos. And for this layout, we have 2 4x6 photos and 2 3x4 photos. And actually, I have trimmed down my photos. On my videos, I use these blank papers to represent my photos. It's just easier for me to do my videos that way, showing you where the photos go. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is trim your photos slightly down. This makes matting the photos a lot easier. So I've trimmed my 4x6 photos a quarter of an inch off of 2 sides. So these are really 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. It's just a little bit, it just makes it way easier to mat on a sheet of paper. And then these as well, these were 3x4 photos, and I trimmed a quarter of an inch off 2 sides. So they're really 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. Now you don't have to do that, it just makes matting a lot easier. So let's go ahead and mat these photos, and we're going to mat all of these photos on this sheet of paper. You can either mat them on the blue side or on the green side. It's completely up to you. You can do that according to maybe what colors are in your pictures or what colors you want to make pop out. Whichever side that you want to mat them on, just mat them on that side. And to make this real easy, I'm cutting 2 4-inch by 6-inch photo mats. This is why we trimmed our photos down a little. It just makes the photo mat size really simple. And then 2 3-inch by 4-inch photo mats. So those are done, and then I will show you what I mean. Let me make sure. I'm gonna use the green side for all 4 of my pictures. So since we trimmed our pictures down ever so slightly, they fit perfectly on these photo mats. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these, and I will be right back. Alrighty guys, so I have all of my photos matted, and the next step that we're going to do is you're gonna get this piece of paper that you have left. You already cut the top off, and you're gonna fussy cut the bottom 2 rows of the banners. And you know, this takes a few minutes, a little time. I'm not going to do it all on camera, but I'm going to fussy cut these bottom 2 rows out. I'm going to kind of do a really quick cut of it first, and then once I get it cut out. I think I can hold on to it easier in my hand if it's just a small banner instead of this big piece of paper. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this bottom row of banners and the next row of banners. And I'm gonna go off camera to finish this up. So I will be back in a minute with the finished banners fussy cut out. See how it's just easier for me to maneuver this one real thin piece. I got these 2 strips of banners fussy cut, and I'm going to put these off to the side because this is for the second page. I'll actually use this one for the second page. Okay, the 2 banners, see these are just blank at the end. It's not like half of a banner, but this one right here has like a half of a lantern going off the side. So this is the one that's going to be on the left hand side of the layout, because we don't want half a banner or a half of a lantern in the middle of the banner, because the banner is going to look like it's going all the way across. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to put these off to the side, and then I'm going to grab the base of the left hand side of our layout, and the base is a white sheet of paper. Okay, and we're just going to kind of lay out how things are going on here. Got 2 pictures, we've got a banner across the top. Now, this paper is so amazing that you can use any of the sides that you decide to use on this. You don't have to use the same sides of the paper that I use. Like if you had pictures at night, you would definitely probably want to use this constellation paper across the bottom rather than this little tent entry paper. So, and same thing here. Maybe you just really love these banners and you want to use that side instead of the plaid side. And if you're at one of the national parks or multiple national parks, you would want to use this side instead of this side. But for my layout, I'm going to use the trees across the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and adhere some things and not adhere some things, because we're going to do a little bit of mixed media on this layout with some ink and our stamps. But some things can go ahead and be adhered just like they are, like that. We're gonna grab this piece of the burlap paper too and trim about 1 inch off of this piece. So we're gonna cut that inch off the side. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull these little pieces that are hanging, so it's going to kind of give a frayed edge, because I want a frayed edge on this. Oops, let me get all of these pieces off. Okay, so we've got this little piece with a frayed edge, and I'm just going to set that off to the side too, but we are going to use part of that. So we've got 2 pictures here. We're gonna put this piece of plaid at the bottom, and this I'm going to slide just about like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this plaid paper down and this white paper down. I'm not adhering my pictures down yet. So I can go ahead and adhere this right in the middle. Looks pretty straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this right like that. Okay, now we've got this frayed piece of burlap, and I just want to cut enough to cover up this seam right here and right here. I'm not putting it all the way across because it's going to make your page a little bulky if you do that. So, and you can use a double-sided adhesive or glue to adhere this down. I'm just going to use a little bit of double-sided tape. Okay, and then I'm going to just cut a little strip for this side and do the same exact thing. adhere that down. Okay, so we've got a little texture in there. Oh, I should have told you to keep a couple of these little strips that you tore off. Didn't mean to throw those away. We're gonna use them. Keep 3. Okay, so now we've got this, and eventually we're gonna put our pictures on here just like this. But the first thing that I wanna do before I adhere my pictures, you know what? I am gonna go ahead and adhere this banner across the top because I've got the pictures laid out where I want them. And then we could put the banner according to that, how the pictures are. I'm just using a little bit of this Zig 2-way glue pen, liquid glue, to adhere this banner down. And I want to get it straight right across the top. Perfect. Okay, so that banner is adhered down. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do is turn to our stamp set that comes in this kit. And it's so cute. Let me move these off to the side. Okay, I'm going to grab Distress Oxide Bundled Sage ink and Distress Oxide Stormy Sky ink and black ink. I'm just using close to my heart archival black ink. It could be any black ink. And then my stamping blocks. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is take a blending tool with my Stormy Sky ink, and I'm gonna blend a little circle in here. My pictures will go like that. I'm gonna blend it right here, and it's gonna overlap a little bit behind this picture. So just a circle of the blue ink. It doesn't have to be precise or exact or some perfect size. Just right around here. And I'm gonna really blend. And I wanna do this part first because I don't wanna do this over a stamped image. This is gonna be the background, kind of looking like sky, clouds, nighttime, or daytime. It's just gonna ground where these stamped images are gonna be and give it a little place to sit. So I'm gonna do a little bit more up here. Okay. So I've got kind of a circle there going. That looks about right. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take my Distress Oxide Bundled Sage ink and a stamping block, and I'm gonna just grab this stamp that is the 3 trees here, right there. And I'm going to stamp that once, kind of down here. Oop, let me get it on the block straight so it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna stamp this one kind of down here, off to the side and down. I'm gonna stamp another image a little higher up. So I'm gonna put this one a little bit down and off to the side of that blue spot that we just put on. Okay, so those are those trees. And then I am going to kind of wipe off my stamp. And get it nice and clean. So I can stamp in another color. Okay, move that to the side. And then I'm gonna stamp it in the archival black color. And this time I'm gonna stamp it overlapping that green one and just up a little bit taller. So ink it up real well. And it's overlapping and a little taller, just like that. And that's all I'm gonna do with the stamps right now for this side. If you wanted to add more trees or add another little grouping of trees somewhere else, you could do that. But for now, I'm just gonna do those two little sets of trees. I'm gonna push all this off to the side because we are gonna use it again in just a minute. Okay, so that is adhered down and the stamps we've got, and now we're gonna pull out the ephemera and place the ephemera where it's going to go. We've got a few different ephemera pieces here. Let's see, I used this one that says Little Man. I used Brave and Strong. I used, let's see. They're coming up in here. I used this one right here. I used Let's Get Lost in the Woods. Okay, oh yes, this little circle. And I used the word adventures, but I'm not finding that. I might have lost it when I was taking a picture. I'm gonna put Happy Trails just because. I did use the word adventures on wood down here, but I'm not seeing that really quick when I'm trying to go through these. So it might have gotten misplaced when I undid everything to take pictures. And then we're gonna get 2 charms, and we use all 3 charms. The other one will be on the other side. So I'll go ahead and grab those. And this is where the little piece that you tore off of the burlap comes into play. We'll also tie a knot. And then trim the ends short. Okay. So this one will be on this side, and this one goes on the other page, so I'm gonna put it off to the side. So, oh, one more thing that we're gonna wanna do is get the packaging that these charms came from and cut off this end portion and save this. We're gonna use it on the other side, and hole punch this with just a regular hole punch and trim the sides off. And just get all these layers in here. This little thing that says Little Man, I didn't want it to cover up my picture so much, so I just trimmed and just let a little bit of this plaid still be left on there. And I actually used this scrap up here. So let's go ahead and adhere pictures down. Let's see. We'll get this one adhered down first, because I think we've got everything kind of in the places that it needs to be. So that one can go like this. And this picture slightly overlaps that other one. All right, and then we can start adhering these little bits and bobs. So this can go right there. And this guy, oh, we need to punch out all these little holes in the bottom. There we go. He's gonna go right here. He just overlaps those trees that we stamped. And then this little guy can go right here, kind of just overlapping that. And then this charm, I adhere down with glossy accents because it's nice and it adheres heavier things like charms a lot easier. You could also use glue dots. I think those work well too for things like that. I inked the edges of this in bundled sage. So I just got a little inking tool, since that's the color green that I've got going on. You know, it's very similar to this color green. So I inked the edges just so this could pop out a little more. So we'll do that. And then we're gonna put this one up on foam adhesive, dimensional adhesive right here. And I'm only using a couple pieces for this video. In real life, I would have put more than 4 little tiny pieces of adhesive on the back of this. So let's get lost in the woods. That one goes right about there. All right, and then this Brave and Strong kind of slid right in there. And then this one that says Little Man, I also popped up on foam adhesive. And it just went like right around there. And Happy Trails, which on my original layout, I used the word Adventures. It also pops on dimensional adhesive. And I put it right down here. This little charm, again with glossy accents, can go right about there. And then the last thing that we're going to want to do is grab, you have a scrap of this National Park paper, and on the back is this neutral like grid shape, and this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grab some Distress Oxide gathered twig and a stamp block, and I'm gonna grab this little stamp. It is so cute here. It looks like a cut through piece of wood. I'll show you. It's this stamp right here. It just looks like a little tiny piece of wood. And I'm going to stamp it 6 times onto this paper, and I'm gonna fussy cut it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 4, that one didn't show up good. 5, there, that's better. Okay, so then I'm gonna fussy cut these out, and we're going to use them as like little round embellishments on this page. And I did not leave any white showing when I'm fussy cutting this out. A lot of times I leave a little white space between my image and where I cut, but I want this to look like little lugs. So I cut all the way up to the edge, and I'm going to put one up there, and I'm going to put one. I'm gonna cut the rest of these off camera after this, so they will already be done for our next layout. One is gonna go down there, and one is going to go, one is going to go down here. So these are the last 3 things that we're gonna add. One goes down here. So let me add these, and then we're gonna do one more stamped little phrase on this layout. Uh-oh. Right up here. There's lots of phrases in this stamp set that comes with this kit. I just love the stamp set. It's so masculine, and it can be used for all different ages of kids, parties, camping, outdoor adventures, all kinds of things, but you know, just random everyday life too. So chopping wood and looking good, I'm going to put right here. So this chopping wood and looking good, I'm gonna stamp this image right up there, and I'm gonna stamp it using my black ink because I want it to really pop. So I've got that. I'm just gonna wedge it in there, right there. And that pretty much wraps up this side of the layout. Okay, and then let me clear off all these things and we'll start working on the other side of the layout. And again, we are going to start with a white sheet of paper for the base. And we're going to adhere this piece across the bottom, whichever side facing up that you would like, if it's the constellations or this little tents and trees. Okay, and then we are going to run this across the top. So you might want to grab your left side and set it next to this right here so you can line up where these meet on the seam right there. So I'm gonna do that first so I make sure this is in the right place before I even move any further. And again, I'm just using this Zig glue pen. Any glue pen or, you know, double-sided adhesive will work too. It's just on the smaller shapes, it's sometimes easier to use a glue pen. Okay, so I'm gonna line that up good, and then I want this to just run straight across. Uh-oh. Okay, so now those look like they're going from one page to the next, so I can move this back out of the way. I lied. I don't want to move it out of the way yet because I'm going to use this to put these other papers. So let's try this. This little piece is 7 inches by 7 inches. You're gonna want to cut about 1.5 inches off of one side because we're gonna split it apart so it looks bigger than it really is. And it's gonna be covered up by this. Okay, and then we've got our 2 photos, or however many photos you're using. I used 2. I'm gonna adhere this down a little bit better. These layouts are so flexible. You can use a lot of different amounts of photos on them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, now that I've got this slightly laid out, I'm gonna go ahead and adhere, not the pictures, but the background pieces. So I'll adhere that one. And I'll adhere this. And then I can go ahead and adhere this piece too. So we kind of stretched this underneath piece to make it just look a little bit bigger than it was. And you know, I can go ahead and adhere these pictures right now. They're not going to get in the way of my little stamping. Depending on how many pictures you have and where they lay though, this area up here you're going to be stamping on like we did on this. So you're going to want to leave that area kind of clear of pictures. So first what I'm going to do, you know what? This is a little bit, it needs to tuck a little bit more under. It's kind of too close to this side. You want to leave about 2 inches of white space on that side. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna move these up a little bit too. Okay, now that I've gotten all of this adhered, I've got about 2 inches of space right here. That's how you can tell how close to put these. I've got my pictures adhered, I've got this strip adhered, and the next thing I'm gonna do is do some, we're gonna grab this little piece. Let's get this on here. And again, we're not gonna put this all the way under this whole thing. We're just gonna have it stick out right there. And I'm using this first page we made as a guide, so it looks like it continues right across the seam of the layout at the same height. And then over here, we'll put one more little chunk of this burlap. This little burlap sheet can go a real long way because we're using it in such moderation, because you don't need a lot to add the texture to your layout. You just need little pieces of it. So now we can put that one off to the side. Now let's pull out our stamps again. And the first thing that we're gonna do, just like we did on the last page, is use the Stormy Sky with this blending brush and blend a blue circle. And this time we're gonna overlap the blue circle on top of this light paper. So it's just going to, it's gonna serve as like our little grounding spot where we're gonna put all of these stamped images. And this set of stamped trees is gonna be slightly larger than our other one. I believe I stamped it 5 times instead of just 2. So it's gonna need to be a little bit larger. And some of it is also going to be buried, you know, with other embellishments and ephemera pieces. So, like it might be covered up on the bottom edges a little. Okay, I'm gonna put that blue area there. And then I'm going to take the bundled sage again with the tree stamp. Let me make sure this stamp is clean and that I cleaned it off. Okay, the bundled sage with the tree stamp, and I'm gonna stamp the first one down here, so a little bit lower than where my paper is. I'm gonna stamp one right there, and then I'm gonna stamp another one a little bit taller over here. Okay, so I've got the 2 green bundled sage. I'm not too worried that this is an open spot. I can come back in and kind of stamp over it, fill that in. It's because I forgot to put foam underneath my surface that I'm stamping on. So if you put foam under there, that will help it not have blank spots. Okay, now I'm gonna come back in with my black ink. I'm gonna stamp one set of trees a little shorter than this one set a little taller up here, and then one set really low down here. So I'll show you what I mean. This one is shorter. This one is taller. This one is low down here. And I still have a little gap right there. So I am actually going to grab the green ink one more time and put another set of green trees right there, because I just miscalculated the space a little. But there we go, just fill in that gap. Now you can see there's a line right here where the black tree went over on both pieces of paper, so it didn't get ink like right up against that paper. If that bothers you a lot, like it will bother me, you can either lift up this and stamp the image again right on top of this original one, or you can take a marker and just fill in that little line. And that's what I'm gonna do because it's black and you can't even tell anymore. That's so much easier for me than lifting up and moving things around. Okay. So now we've got that. I think we're done with the stamps. Oh no, we're not. We're gonna put one more stamp on this page. But let's move on and grab the ephemera. And let's see what we've got for this page. The mountains, over the mountains and through the woods, I have, this is the leftover packaging from the charms. And we're gonna need that because I'm going to back this frame with that. So I will go ahead and do that right now. I'm just simply backing the blue wood grain behind this frame. And of course, the word wild and free, I'm gonna move my picture over slightly. The word wild and free that I chose to use on the other side of the layout, we already, oh no, wild and free is right here. Sorry. This little charm goes right here. I've got these 3 little stamps that we made of the wood. One goes right there, one goes down here, one goes up here. Let me gently move this up a little too. Then we've got, where did it go? Where did it go? There was a scrap left from what I had cut off of the little man. I'll find it in a minute. I'll find it in just a minute. We'll put explore more down here. Adventure up there. One of these little wood things goes up there. And let me try to find the little scrap. Hold on. Okay, thankfully I found it. It's this little piece that we cut off of the other page that's the little man. That's gonna go under here. And I'm gonna go ahead and start adhering things down because some of this adheres down with dimensional adhesive. Oh, again, these 2 white, this one and this one, I went ahead and the white ephemera, I went ahead and inked the edges. So they would just pop a little bit more and bring another color in there. Since there's more than just black, white, and red and gray in this layout. Another color you could use to ink these edges is a light blue or navy blue. That would look good too. Or even the red or the gold. You know, anything that you want to bring out, any color that you want to bring out and make pop a little, I would ink the edges that color. Okay, so let's adhere this one down. Alrighty, and then this one we can adhere flat down to the page. And this guy we can pop up on dimensional adhesive, and this guy. So we'll pop both of those up on foam tape. And again, I would normally put more than just 2 little pieces of foam tape, but for the sake of this video, I don't want it to take too long. And then these little wood slices can go in these 3 areas. That one, and this one, and then I do want to stamp a little phrase that says channel the flannel right down here, just to bring a little bit more down to this bottom. So I'm going to grab this, there's all kinds of word stamps you can use here instead of channel the flannel. Be brave and courageous, adventure, you look even better with a beard, channel the flannel, handsome little man, adventure, the bravest thing you can be is yourself. You know, there's lots of little sayings or even images that you could stamp down here. But I'm just going to use channel the flannel, and I'm going to use it on this archival black ink again. And let's see here. And I'm just going to stamp it right down there. And the last thing that I want to do on this side of the layout is adhere with glossy accents this charm. And I'm going to adhere it right here, overlapping these little goodies. And then this left side of the layout is also done. I mean, right side, whatever side this is. So that brings us to the end of this video. And I will put still pictures of both of these layouts at the end of this video. There's also a photograph of this layout on the bottom of your instruction sheet. There's a link to the listing of this product at the under this video, and there's a picture and close-up pictures of this layout there, so you can refer back to those. And if you are part of our Not Just Your Boys Kit Club community Facebook group, our design team is going to share their own unique layouts using this kit. So you can get lots of other ideas of how to use this kit if you don't want to put together this, what I've got right here. But yeah, they'll all be sharing their layouts, and you can share your layouts there too. We would love to see them. So have a great day, guys. Thank you. Bye.